We're going to talk a little Browns now here in a sec, but as always, our Browns talk is brought to us by our good friends over at Lincoln Electric. They are hiring for great jobs, experts in the manufacturing and welding field. Check them out at Lincoln Electric.
Go ahead, you finished that?
No, that's it. Lincoln Electric. We love it.
By the way, I was reminded this weekend by my son, I forgot about this, that one of my son's good buddies, his mom is in management at Lincoln Electric. I never put it together, so I don't know if she even realizes that she's sponsoring the show I'm on. But anyway, real quick before we get to the Browns, just a bizarre stat from the NHL this weekend. I know we don't usually pay attention to the NHL. So there were 8 NHL hockey games this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. The road teams went 8-0.
I couldn't even tell you
and
how
that
many,
happens in hockey more often.
Well, I was going to ask because I legitimately I couldn't even tell you how many people are on the ice at one time.
Right.
But does hockey have? It feels like it wouldn't have quite a home field advantage because of the glass and everything else. Certainly not what NBA what the home court advantage feels like.
It's not like football or basketball. And it's more like baseball. It's unpredictable. But still, for the road teams to go 8-0,
that's
including
unusual.
4 overtime games, is kind of bizarre. Now, anyway, all their and by the way, until yesterday when it was Game 4, all 8 of their first-round series had been 2-1 after 3 games. There was no team up 3-0.
I would like to get into hockey.
It is.
Playoff hockey
is good stuff.
Yeah.
Elite.
It's like basketball. The regular season, playoffs, great.
I'm gonna adopt the Golden Knights as my team.
They won a championship recently.
I'm adopting
you and Anthony.
I do like. It's the only other New York team I like a little. I kind of like the Rangers.
They're in Vegas.
The Rangers. No,
you said the. I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry.
So I'm rooting for the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup. By the way, a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup in like 30 years.
Has it been 30 years?
I don't know if it's exact. It might be 29 or something like that.
We took that over too. We took that from them too.
I think it's been close to 30. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were like one of the original franchises, I think they've won 1 playoff series in like 20 years, something like that.
I will confirm you're right. It's been forever since they've won a cup. Since the 60s, I believe, since they've won a cup.
Yeah.
Since the playoff series, I think it's almost 2 decades. I'll double check.
No, it can't be the 60s because Gretzky done won up in.
No, Toronto.
No, Toronto.
But
Toronto
I believe it was the early 90s.
The Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, were the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup.
That's amazing.
But the Leafs fans in Toronto are
bonkers. And they always choke in the play. They're up in their first round series. They're up 2 games to 1.
The Leafs are way more
I
popular
will
than the
double
Raptors.
check.
It's not even close.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It is. I'll double
Leafs
check the
sell out
Canadian
every game.
facts while you guys are talking Browns in a sec. But I do want to set this up, though, just because you guys may not think this is as big of a
Mike is
it's not even a big deal, but this kind of struck me the wrong way. Our good friend Mary Kay, who is on top of everything Browns, wrote an article this weekend that after day 2 of the voluntary workouts, Myles Garrett spoke, and she asked him, quote, what's kind of your theme? What's your personal theme for the upcoming year? And this is Myles' exact quote to Mary Kay Cabot. His theme is, quote, have some fun. It's been up and down for a while. This last year had its ups and downs. I feel like my career here has had its ups and downs, but got to make the most out of things. Got to be grateful, especially with everything that's going on in the world, everything that's happening from day to day. I don't have an issue with what he's saying in totality, but I do have an issue with – and issue's a very strong word. Maybe it's not an issue, but I want Myles Garrett to have a different personal mind. I want it to be like, I want to kill quarterbacks.
That's right.
I want to destroy opposing offensive lines. Have some fun. Just it doesn't feel right that you're intimidated on defense.
Mike is fired up about this.
I see he is.
He's angry. He's pissed off. He thinks Myles Garrett's soft. That's what he's alluding to.
Well, that's
you're alluding to Myles Garrett being soft.
I just think I want to have the scariest guy in the field should not just want to have some fun.
Does anybody care upset about this statement?
No, because I'll say it because I know you're gonna put the capper on it.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. So when you're an athlete, things can get mundane.
Yeah.
They can go when you're not having success. It can just be like punching the clock, going to work, right? And most people who succeed at their jobs, they love being there because they love what they do. So what I took from that was Myles Garrett saying, listen, you have to remember, I got to enjoy myself. I got to have some fun. In order to succeed at a high level, I have to have some fun.
Yeah.
That's all I took it as. I didn't take it as anything more than that, right?
Yes.
And I said, listen, go have some fun and do your thing. Because when he's playing at a loose level, he's going to get loose. But if you're going to a mentality like I'm just punching the clock, I got 2 hours to get in here or 3 hours to get in here, then I'm out of here. That's not what you want to happen.
You know what's fun? Winning.
Yeah.
Winning is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I know, like, Myles was incredibly frustrated last year. He was incredibly frustrated with how last year went.
Yeah.
It just felt like same old Browns, missed the playoffs again.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and we love Joe. Joe Thomas is on the show. I have the utmost respect for Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, Myles Garrett is not going to be Joe Thomas. He's not going to spend his entire career at a place that doesn't win playoff games, that doesn't get to the postseason.
My sense is, if they don't turn it around this year, he wants out after this year.
I can't argue that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, but hopefully we don't have to find out because hopefully they'll win.
Yeah.
Listen, I get what he's saying, right, as you said. The other day, this is maybe a bad example, but I'll give it anyway. We were doing batting practice with the kids, and my son, the first time up, I was coaching him hard. I'm like, come on, timing's off, blah, blah, blah. And he was swinging and missing a lot. And then he came up for a second round of BP, and I just said, have fun. And he hit the ball because he relaxed a little bit. So I get that. I think Myles Garrett is one of, if not the most physically gifted player I've ever seen in my life.
Without doubt.
His body, his strength, all of that is a 10 out of 10. I mean, he is a physical. If you had to say a perfect, if an alien came down from Mars and said, "Show me the perfect physical specimen of a human being," you could easily pick Myles Garrett to point to. And I don't care. And having fun is great. I will say there's a little part of me, and I will admit this may not be fair. I am not a football player. I didn't even play in high school. I could be way off on this. But I have always had a sense, not always, in the last couple of years, there's a sense that Myles Garrett is just not mean enough or nasty enough or whatever it is, that there's a little piece that's just missing from Myles Garrett. And that's why he may be the third or fourth best defensive lineman in the league, which is great, and not the best. Because when I look at his physical talent, I say there should be nobody better than this guy. He should be making an impact all the time. And in fairness, some of those other guys have better talent around them. He has not had good talent around him. But I feel like there is still most NFL players, you'd be thrilled if you got this production. But with Myles Garrett, there's all-time great level that I still think he can reach, and I don't know if he will because I don't think he has that nastiness, meanness. That may be unfair. I could be wrong. I fully admit that. Maybe he has it and I just don't see it. I'm not in that locker room. I don't know. But that is a sense I've had for a couple of years. What do you guys think? Is that fair or unfair?
I don't know about meanness, but I do feel like there's another gear in there that we don't always see.
Right.
And I don't know why. And it just feels, and part of it may be just the culture around him.
Right.
I don't know. But it does feel at times like there is nobody on the football field who should be able to block him.
Right. Ever.
Now, if you're sending 2 and 3 guys at him, okay.
Yeah.
But one-on-one, no one should ever be able to block him.
What if he was in a situation where the team was elite?
I think he'd be more motivated.
Yeah.
Is it motivation?
I think a lot of it is that, sometimes they say in sports you can play down to the level that's surrounding you.
That's
right?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
It takes you down a couple levels. What if he was playing at a defensive clip that the defense was hitting on all notes? What would he look like?
What would he look like as a Steeler or a Patriot? That's kind of where I go.
Right.
It's only human nature to think I can give everything I have, I can break my body in half,
right.
And what good is it going to do?
Right.
I do think that creeps in at some point.
Right. I mean, it feels like that the other elite defensive linemen make more of an impact consistently than Myles Garrett. And, you look at the PFF grades and they're always the best. So,
yeah.
I don't know, but I don't have a problem with the statement itself. I get what he's trying to say. And again, maybe it's unfair because Myles Garrett is so good and he's probably on track to be a Hall of Famer. But
he is absolutely
right.
on track.
And I want him to just dominate all the time. And the domination is seems a little inconsistent for a player of his talent. And I don't say that. Sometimes I hate to say, oh, the guy's so physically gifted, because it makes it seem like he didn't work hard. He's physically gifted because he has worked his ass. You don't look like Myles Garrett physically unless you've worked your ass off on your body every day of your life. I don't take that away from him.
I appreciate it. Listen, another thing I appreciate Myles Garrett being in the Garden.
Yeah.
Yes. Supporting the Cavaliers. I do appreciate that. So I look at it like this. This is a make or break year for the Browns.
100%.
This is it.
Yes.
Right? Everybody going all in. So that means players go all in, coaches got to go all in, the ownership's got to go all in, because this is it. This is it. Because to your point, Jason, if it don't go well this year, it's going to be a whole lot of people screaming, let me up out of here.
Yep.
There's a good chance, if this season goes south, Berry, good chance he's fired. Stefanski, good chance he's fired. Myles may want out. They may decide to move on from Nick Chubb because they're like, we got to start over.
We got to start over.
And
I don't know how you start over with a $230 million quarterback. I don't know how you start.
Well,
that's going to be.
That's
why I said
it's a total disaster if they have a bad season.
You should be putting all your capital in to make sure.
Yeah.
Because here, even if it goes south, he got to look good, right?
Right. Well, if he plays to the level we all know he's capable of, then the Browns won't be bad.
Because you got to always you always got to have an exit strategy. Can I move him?
Well, not if he doesn't play well.
Exactly.
I mean, if Deshaun Watson plays anything close to what he did last year, which I don't think will be the case. I think
we sunk.
But if the Browns are sunk, beyond sunk, they're screwed, completely screwed. On the other hand,
for years.
On the other hand, if he plays like the guy we saw in Houston, the Browns should be a good team, and at the very least should be in the playoff hunt, if not a legitimate playoff.
So
team.
what are they gonna do? Because I see this thing about what are they gonna do with Kareem Hunt?
He's not coming back. It's over.
I saw an article they were toying around with it again.
He was asked specifically. Barry was asked specifically at the press conference about Kareem. What's he going to say? We don't want him back. Yeah. He answered it the way he has to. Kareem Hunt's not coming back.
I haven't heard a single rumor involving Kareem Hunt.
Neither have I.
Until this. What
does that tell you? All the screaming and hollering that a lot of people on this set did about Kareem more. I know not you. Get Kareem more involved. Get Kareem more involved. Get Kareem touches. Well, nobody in the league wants him right now.
Nope. Now, I think at this point, like Zeke Elliott's a free agent now,
is that
too.
because the Browns devalued him?
No, I think teams feel like they're smarter. Every team feels like it's smarter than every other team. And if they thought there was value there, he would have been signed by now.
I think what we all know too is teams generally would rather have rookie running backs than veteran running backs.
The way the scale's playing out now, I get it.
And it's a position where your shelf life of excellence is very short,
did you see this thing on C.J. Stroud?
What specifically?
He's falling in the draft. Did you see that?
I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you see why?
The tests was
the
test?
cognitive test.
The S2 test.
Yeah, I forgot what they called it.
Wonderlic?
They did away with the Wonderlic. Now they're doing this thing.
Why those scores shouldn't be leaking out?
I thought it was coming the guy that it was a GM guy, quiet GM. So they say.
No, well, they released the test scores. It's not leaked.
Have there been some good quarterbacks that have done badly in this test?
They said he had an 18.
He got an 18. Yeah, I'll get you all the scores. He had an 18. It's a lot to be made out of nothing.
Have there been some great quarterbacks that have gotten bad scores?
No.
The thing is, it's a new test, so it doesn't go back very far.
Well, how many years they've been doing it?
I don't know, but here's the S2 cognitive results. Bryce Young got a 98.
Right.
Jake Hayner, who I've never heard of, got a 96. Will Levis got a 93. Anthony Richardson got a 79. Hendon Hooker got a 46, and Stroud got an 18.
Oof, that sounds bad. So have there been any of the good quarterbacks the last couple of years? Have they gotten low grades, or we don't know?
I'll look into it, but real quick, this is a quote from an NFL executive on the cognitive S2 test. Quote,
here we go.
If you get a high score as a quarterback, it's not saying you're going to be a great player, but if you get a low score, it's 100%. None of the quarterbacks that have gotten a low score became good players. That was the quote from
That's the guy that was in the article that was quoting this thing there. Probably, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I don't know.
He said that's why Stroud is falling like a rock.
I never believe it when I hear guys are falling this time of year.
Yeah, it's smokescreen season.
I guess we'll see when the draft actually happens. I'm looking forward to the draft. I know the Browns obviously are not, I doubt they're going to trade up into the first round.
No.
so we won't see them on Thursday. I do think it's possible with 2/3, 2/4, and 2/5 that they could trade into the second round or maybe even higher up in the third round. I think they're going to be aggressive with those 6 picks and turn them maybe into 4 players, right? I think we can see that. But I'll be very surprised if they end up back in the first round. Very surprised because you'd have to give up a lot.
No,
you'd have to give up future picks.
And when he was leaving the press conference room the other day, Barry even joked, "You guys can have Thursday off. You can go to bed."
Right.
Like,
they're not involved with that.
No.
I think it will be interesting. Some veterans like could we see Austin Eckler get traded? Could we see in the next week Aaron Rodgers, DeAndre Hopkins, Budda Baker of the Cardinals wants out too.
Yeah, Hop's probably a good candidate for a trade or a draft night trade. This weekend.
And then I think Kareem Hunt and Zeke after the draft will probably sign.
Right after you see what shakes out.
Right, and then you look for an opportunity. They're not getting that much money.
No,
they're not getting any significant money.